Hello and shalom, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good. It is that time again. It is Monday. Again, I think I missed another Monday, but anyways, I am here today so this way we can go ahead and get our study in with Father, because he is our daily bread. We're supposed to know him, by his word. This is what it is to have that relationship with him. So let us get to it. Father Yehovah, we come before you, giving you praise and thanks today for all that you do, for waking us up, taking care of us throughout our day, and then having given us a restful night in the nights. There's so much to be thankful for, Father. And I pray that many of us gain better understanding, so this way we know how to serve you as our Eloah, our God, as our Father, our Abba, and as our King. I thank you for our Messiah, who you have given us, that you have sent because you have loved us and you knew of a way to make things come back to gaining us back to you through him. May we not take you for granted, Father, for that love that you have had this whole time. I pray that we never take his death in vain. Never taking it for granted that he came wanting to reconcile us back to you, knowing what was going to come about. And this is how we can show you both how much we are grateful and how much we love you both for the love you have had for us since the way beginning. Is to come and give ourselves over to your words, seeing what it is that you ask of, what you like, and doing our best to live right according to what pleases you. To me, there is no greater love than someone coming and laying down his life for you. So that way everything else can be restored. So I thank you, Abba, and I love you. I pray that what we read today stays within our minds, that we carry it, we lock it up in our heart, never forgetting what it is that we have come to know, to retain it fully. Help us, Abba, with our memory, because I know that the adversary, he will come to try to steal, kill, and destroy however way he could. Sometimes there's even, memory blockages. So I pray for your strength, Father, you that dwells within me, always bringing back to my remembrance what it is that I meditated on you with. So I thank you, Father, and I love you. I pray for all those that are studying alongside with me, although I don't know it, but I pray for them, that they never stop seeking your word. In Yeshua's name I pray. Amen. Okay, so let us get the 1 hour mark on the phone. Just so it kind of gives us that little jingle that we have met it. And if we go over, that's okay. Spending time with Father, there should never be a time limit. But I just like to think on how Messiah did tell John, can you just pray for me just an hour, like letting him know, like it's not very much. And like I said before, I think when I started off with you all, we can give ourselves over to our entertainment and go many, many hours not even thinking about it. So Messiah's words always stick with me on that one. Like, can we just pray an hour? I always feel like, can I have just read an hour? And we can. But that's where we have to start showing him that we want to die to this flesh. We want to die from our wants and likes all the time, to show him that he does matter and he means that much to work that desire, to show him that he should be wanted at all times. So anyways, let us get into it. 1 hour has been set. Okay, so last I completed chapter 4. And so, but just to recap on what it is that we read, it was we were now in Cain and Abel's situation, and what we got to see happen as sin started to present itself in different ways. We saw Adam and Eve, they slipped and fell, ate the forbidden fruit. They didn't keep what Father had told them not to do. They still went ahead and listened to something else, which was the serpent. And then when we got into Cain and Abel's situation, we see yet again where Father is telling Cain, that sin was crouching at his door, and that he needed to overcome this thing that was starting to present itself, with him possibly, I don't know, becoming jealous of Abel. Seeing that Father was accepting the offerings by Abel more than Cain, and due to whatever it is that Cain wasn't doing right by the offerings he was giving. And Father was letting him know, if you were to do good by that, if you were to do your best by it, wouldn't it be accepted? So Father was letting him know, there's reasons why, Abel's is being accepted by me and not you, kind of thinking on how Father could have spoken to him. But he was letting him know, I see another thing within you that you need to master. And still, Cain let himself go and experience sin, at this point now, it was by murder. He took his brother's life out. But we got to see where, through the Septuagint, where Cain did kind of seem like he felt this regret, that came by that. And he was in fear, and he repeated more or less what Father had let him know, that if he didn't master it, then he was going to, reap a consequence of it. And he ended up saying, it's going to be too painful. I am going to be, how did he say it? I will be moaning and trembling upon the earth, letting Father know, like, you're right. This is going to be very painful to be without you. And now he started to fear for his own life. But in Father's love, it's not that Father didn't give him a punishment. He did. He banned him to another location. But Father still gave him compassion in not taking him out. And there was something shared in the Bible Academy that I'm a part of, by one of our elder sisters. She's a mom to a lot of us, and she had pointed out. Let me get to it in Psalms. Try not to jump so much, but to me, I kind of feel like it helps knowing certain parts, where it even fits to the beginning, of the word as we carry on. Let me try to find it. Okay, I'll start at verse 8. Psalm 103, verse 8. Yehovah is merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. He will not always chide, nor will he keep his anger forever. He does not deal with us according to our sins, nor repay us according to our iniquities. So I forgot the other version. I think it was the King James version. Let me see. We'll go to that. He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities. I like that one from the King James version, just because of the fact that it shows, those times where we have done, even when we examine ourselves, what we have done, and not, of course, when you come to reading the word and you see all the stuff that Father says do not be doing, and in our ignorance at that time, he could have very well gave us our due punishment, but he didn't. He didn't. And so here you can kind of see that compassion when you read how Father let him know, in verse 15, it will not be like that, letting Cain know, no one's going to go out and kill you. I won't let them. So he marked him. But yeah, just recapping on some of that, to keep us sharp as to what we read and where we're going now. Then all of a sudden we see the descendants of Cain, and then we saw where this Lamech, where it started to be where having more than one wife came in, and then thinking on Lamech's words, after I had read about this situation and having a thought process on him, made me think like makes me think like how some could use a particular area of father, of an incident that occurred, to kind of use it for their own situation, and now saying, okay, well, Father, you did that to him, well, then now you can't do nothing to me, because look at, what you did for Cain, but we saw the conversation between only Father and Cain, where he marked him and said that if anybody were to kill him, it'll release 7 reprisals. I think that's how you say it. A payment. And so now we see where Lamech now wants to say this same thing, but well, since, Cain was kind of covered for what he did, then now I don't need to fear, because this is what I'm going to say that God will do for me. I think that's where we err, where we try to think, well, now we can get away with something just because now we saw a situation in the Word, and it's not right. You don't see Father telling Lamech anything like that. He wanted to bring his own type of protection, and Father did not tell Lamech anything like that. He put it on himself. And that's where we kind of see where people can err, when they start to add to Father, and Father never said anything like that. But that just came to me after I had read to y'all the last Monday when we read this portion. But anyways, I thought to share just a little bit on that. And then, of course, we got to see where Adam and Eve had another child. And this time, Father blessed them with Seth. And with Seth, he also had a son. So we see that he was having, children, or right here we see a child. And through Enosh, that's when we got to see where it says, this one hoped to invoke the name of Yehovah. So that's where we start to see where man, through Enosh, was starting to know Yehovah and to make known his name. Okay, so let's move on. Now we're in chapter 5, and the title for it is Adam's Descendants. Okay, and we had already started that at the start of chapter 4, but at the end. Okay, but we'll start from 25 from chapter 4. Adam knew Eve, his wife, and once she conceived, she brought forth a son and called his name Seth, saying, because Yehovah raised up another offspring for me in the place of Abel, whom Cain killed. Seth had a son, and he called Seth had a son, and he called his name Enosh. Um, this one hoped to invoke the name of Father Yehovah, of Father Yehovah. This, starting now at chapter 5, this is the book of the generation of humans. On the day when Yehovah made Adam, he made him according to the image of Yehovah. He made them male and female. He blessed them, and he named their name Adam on the day when he made them. Adam lived 230 years and fathered a child according to his appearance, and according to his image. And he named his name Seth. I don't know, sorry, that's taking me on much thoughts here. Anyways, in verse 4, the days of Adam after he fathered Seth were 700 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Adam that he lived were 930 years, and he died. Seth lived 205 years, and he fathered Enosh. And after he fathered Enosh, Seth lived 707 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 190 years, and he fathered Canaan. And after he fathered Canaan, Enosh lived 715 years. Okay, before we go on, I forgot to look for the little letters by the words so we can know what those words were. Okay, I think I shared that one from last teaching, that Enoch, the letter A, but it was on verse 4, chapter 4, verse 18, and the little A was by Enoch, and his name in the literal means there came to be for Enoch Irad. So is the whole sentence there. Irad was born to Enoch. The A, there came to be for Enoch Irad. So it's just saying that, the child that came to him or was born from him. And then B, I'm trying to see if it's in chapter 5 or if it was just in chapter 4. Oh, it was in chapter 4 by the name Cain on verse 24. That was just 7 times has been avenged from Cain. That's what it meant right there. Because sevenfold revenge has been given to Cain, but it could also be read as 7 times has been avenged from Cain. Okay, so we can carry on now from chapter 5. Okay, and after he fathered Canaan, this is verse 10, Enosh lived 715 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 170 years, and he fathered Mahalalel. And after he fathered Mahalalel, Canaan lived 740 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 165 years, and he fathered Jared. And after he fathered Jared, Mahalalel lived 730 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and he fathered Enoch. And after he fathered Enoch, I better find those letters at the bottom right away. Let's see if I'm seeing it anywhere here. Okay, I guess not yet. Okay, and after he fathered Enoch, okay, this is Jared who fathered him. Jared lived 800 years, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 165 years, and he fathered Methuselah. Enoch was very pleasing to Yehovah. For 200 years after he fathered Methuselah, and he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch was very pleasing to Yehovah, and was not found, because Yehovah transposed him. And Methuselah lived 187 years. And he fathered Lamech. And after he fathered Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years. And he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah which he lived were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 188 years, and he fathered a son. And he gave him the name, okay, And right here, I found the little A starting at verse 29. And it's near the word gave. And on the bottom, it just means literally named. And he gave, and he named him the name Noah, saying, "This one will relieve us from our works and from the pains of our hands, and from the earth which Yehovah cursed." Okay, this one will relieve us from our works and from the pains of our hands, and from the earth which Yehovah cursed. And after he fathered Noah, Lamech lived 565 years. And he fathered sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 753 years. And he died. And so, let's see. There is a B, but a little B, I don't know if that's here or if that would be starting. I see a little C here, but I don't find the little B. It would be at the start of end on chapter 6. That's where that little B would be. But before we get there, to share some thoughts that just came to me of the chapter 5. It's now, oh yeah, there we go. We can see the example where as we carry on in reading the word, when names start to become similar, sometimes we can think the person that we're reading about is like the same name to a different passage, but sometimes they're not always the same person. And sometimes we can read a different name, because like I said, all sorts of different versions of the Bible out there have different, I guess, like namings. There's just so much to try to figure out who is who when it comes down to a name. It's just like when I just got taught about with Yeshua's name. Of course, we read it as Jesus by the English, but when you do the search of it, you see that his name is Yeshua, or it could also be Yehoshua, and then there's another place where it could also be Joshua. So It's really, you have to really look hard into these things, so this way you know like who it is that you're reading about. And so here we can see, starting in chapter 4, we just got done reading Lamech, but if we don't stay sharp at who came from whom, we could think that once we got into chapter 5 and we see the name Lamech all over again, we could be thinking it's still one and the same, but it's not. Lamech from chapter 4 is from Cain's descendants, and this Lamech from chapter 5 is from Seth's descendants. So names are very important in figuring out who is who and many different things. But I'm hoping I can do it good when it comes down to sharing when we get into the New Testament about who is who and who wrote what. I think it is that, maybe it was Mark, right? That Mark is actually John. The book of Mark. I mean the letter, the book, the writer Mark. Oh, yeah. So like when we get into the New Testament, we have Mark, but his name is actually John. So there's so much to try to know, even by the names, not just by what you're trying to retain of what it is that you need to know by being a believer, a true, genuine follower of Messiah, and what it is you need to be doing as a believer, but even knowing who is truly who by the names. So this way, when you're trying to do the works of Messiah and teaching and going out there and sharing what it is that you're learning from the passages, you're also knowing who you're sharing in the right of when it comes down to the name. I don't want to say this is said by Joshua and you think of it as Joshua during the time of Moses, that Joshua, and it could be, being said of Yeshua. And there's just so much to know and learn even by the names. And then another thing that stood out that I think is important to notice is that here we see Noah. Names have meanings. They serve a purpose. So we see the importance of names starting at right here where we see Noah, and what was said of him, that what his dad said he would be doing for the people. His name has meaning. Names have meanings, and why it was spoken upon them. I mean, you can see where Eve, when she spoke the names of her sons and what she said and declared unto Father by her sons' names. And then, of course, you see it again as we go down into later on down the road, we'll see even Leah, and how when she's naming her sons, what her sons' names were meaning then as she spoke. So I just thought to point that out, that names do have meanings. Even our Messiah, Yeshua, he's our salvation. Okay, so let's carry on. Chapter 6. The title for it is Corruption of Humanity. Okay, and like I said at the start of it, there's the letter B starting at the word and I don't know what to make of it. It says, I guess to compare it with chapter 5 verses 32. Or I guess it's a connection of. I don't know what to make of that. I guess they connect verse 1, but also connecting it to a verse 32, which you don't see 32 by chapter 5. You go straight into chapter 5, verse 31, and then it stops right there. And then you start reading at chapter 6, verse 1. So I don't know, I guess they connect it and say it's chapter 5, verse 32, connecting with 6, 1 in the Hebrew. So I don't know. And then we have a little T, which I don't know what that resembles, but literally for the age. Interesting. And I don't know if that goes with and, literally of the age, and Noah lived. Unsure. Sorry, probably not making much sense. You would have to have this Septuagint to know what I'm trying to talk on. But it's weird because even in verse 3, when we get there, there's a little C by the word long, but down in the bottom, for a little bit of guidance to give us that more insightful meaning, there's nothing there to say the literal thing of it, unless that means for the age. Yeah, it would seem so, because for very long, and in the literal it says for the age, for very long, for the age. So yeah, I guess this one goes to it, but it looks like a little T by it and not a C. But yeah, once again, unless you have the reading material, I'm probably not making sense to you, so I'm so sorry. Anyways, chapter 6, let's continue. So chapter 6 can be seen as the ending of, so how I take it is the ending of chapter 5, verse 32, even though it doesn't have the number 32 next to it, and it connects with chapter 6, verse 1 in the Hebrew. So anyways, verse 1 of chapter 6. And Noah lived 500 years, and Noah fathered 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And it happened when humans began to become numerous upon the earth, and they had daughters. The angels of Yehovah, having seen the daughters of humans, that they were beautiful, took for themselves women from all whom they picked. Yehovah said, my breath will certainly not reside in these humans for very long. And right there, that's where that C is, and it just means for the age. Okay, so my breath will certainly not reside in these humans for the age. because they are flesh, but their days will be 120 years. Now giants were upon the earth in those days, and after that, whenever the sons of Yehovah entered into the daughters of humans, they fathered children for themselves. Those were the giants who were from long ago, the people of renown. Now Yehovah saw that the wicked actions of humans multiplied upon the earth, and everyone was focused in his heart on evil things all their days. And Yehovah reflected that he made humankind upon the earth and considered, and said, and Yehovah said, I will discard humanity, whom I made, from the face of the earth, from human to animal, and from creeping things to winged birds of the heavens, because I am angry that I made them. But Noah found grace before Yehovah. And that's just really sad when I have read this part from fathers. Just imagine you creating something, you made something, you designed something with your mind of how it should work, how you designed it to work, and then all of a sudden it doesn't do exactly what it is that you designed it to do. And it's awful. It's really awful. He regretted it so much that, even the animals he wanted to wipe out. He regretted making both of them. Okay, verse 9. Now these, okay, at the start of verse 9, there's a little title on the side that says Judgmental of Humanity. Judgment of humanity. Now these are the generations of Noah. Noah, a righteous person who was perfect among his generation. Noah was pleasing to Yehovah. Noah fathered 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now the earth was marred before Yehovah, and the earth was full of wrongdoing. Yehovah saw the earth, and it was corrupted, because all flesh was corrupting its way upon the earth. Yehovah said to Noah, the time of all humanity has come before me, because the earth was full of wrongdoing from them. And look, I am destroying them and the earth. So then make for yourself an ark from trees. You will make the ark of squared compartments, and smear it inside and outside with pitch. In this way you will make the ark 300 cubits, the length of the ark, and 50 cubits the width, and 30 cubits its height. While gathering that together, you will make the ark. You will complete it to a cubit from above, and you will make the door of the ark out of the sides, with a ground floor, and 2 stories, and with 3 stories you will make it. Look, I am bringing the deluge, water upon the earth, to destroy all flesh, in which the breath of life under the heavens is in it. And whatever is upon the earth will come to an end. I will establish my testament with you, and you will enter into the ark, you and your sons, and your wife, and the wives of your sons with you, and of all the livestock, and of all the creeping things, and of all the wild animals, and of all flesh. 2 by 2 of all you will bring into the ark, in order that you might feed them with yourselves. Male and female they will be, of all the winged birds according to their kind, and of all the livestock according to their kind, and of all the creeping things that are creeping upon the earth according to their kind. 2 by 2 of all will enter with you to be fed with you, male and female. You will take for yourself of all the food that you will consume, and you will gather it together to yourself, and it will be for you and for them to eat. And Noah did everything that Yehovah commanded him. Thus he did. And so right there we can see that mankind lost its way, nature lost its way. You know, things weren't running the way they were supposed to. Things were happening that were not pleasing in Father's sight. Can just imagine what it was, all that happened during that time of Noah. No one was listening to him. But there was just that one person that showed Father, that he hadn't lost his way from living right in his sight. That Father was like, this one I will take care of. And it starts right there, we see where Noah is listening exactly to what Father is telling him to do, exactly. Telling him what to get in order to be saved by Father. So you have to really listen to what Father says, because he'll give you directions. He'll tell you how to use what it is that he's supplied the earth with, or what you have near, and he will show you how to use it, what to do with it. You just have to pay attention. And so Noah did. He listened and obeyed. Noah did everything that Yehovah commanded him. Thus he did. Okay, chapter 7, the flood. Yehovah said to Noah, "Enter you and your whole house into the ark, because I have seen you as righteous before me in this generation. Of the clean livestock, led in for yourself 7 by 7, male and female. Of the unclean livestock, 2 by 2, male and female. Of the clean birds of the heavens, 7 by 7, male and female, and of all the unclean birds, 2 by 2, male and female, to maintain offspring upon all the earth. For in 7 days I am bringing rain upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy all the heights that I created from the face of the earth. All the heights, the heavens, I guess, that I created from the face of the earth. And Noah did everything that Yehovah commanded him. Noah was 600 years old, and the deluge, I hope I'm saying that right, was upon the earth. Noah and his sons and his wife and the wives of his sons entered with him into the ark because of the water of the deluge, and of the birds, and of the clean livestock, and of the unclean livestock, and of the birds, and from all the creeping things that were upon the earth. 2 by 2 they entered to Noah into the ark, male and female, just as Yehovah commanded him. And this happened after the 7 days. The water of the deluge came upon the earth. In the 600th year, in the life of Noah, during the 2nd month, on the 27th of the month, on this day all the springs of the deeps burst forth, and the waterfalls of the heavens were opened, and the rain came upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On this day Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the sons of Noah, and the wife of Noah, and the 3 wives of his sons, entered with him into the ark, and all the wild animals, according to their kind, and all the livestock according to their kind, and every creeping thing moving upon the earth according to its kind, and every bird according to its kind. They entered with Noah into the ark, 2 by 2, male and female, from all flesh in which there is the breath of life. And the things that entered, male and female of all flesh, entered just as Yehovah commanded Noah. And Yehovah shut the ark from its outside. And the deluge happened upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. upon the earth, and the water increased, and it lifted the ark, and it raised up from the earth. And the water prevailed and increased very much upon the earth, and the ark was being carried upon the water. The water prevailed extremely over the earth, and covered up all the high mountains that are upon the heavens. The water rose up 15 cubits, and it covered all the high mountains, and all flesh of the birds and of the livestock and of the beasts moving over the earth, and every creeping thing moving on the earth, and every human died, and everything that has the breath of life, and everything that was upon the dry land died. And he wiped out everything that rose up on the face of all the earth, from human to animal, and creeping things, and the birds of the heavens. They were wiped out from the earth, and only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained. The water was raised up over the earth for 150 days. The flood subsides. That's the next title. Yehovah remembered Noah and all of the beasts and all of the livestock and all of the birds and all of the creeping things, all that were with him in the ark. And Yehovah brought a wind upon the earth, and the water abated. And the fountains of the deep and the waterfalls of the heavens were revealed, and the rain from the heavens was held back. The water subsided, going from the earth. The water subsided and lessened after 150 days. The ark ran aground in the 7th month. On the 27th day of the month, on the Ararat mountains. The water going kept diminishing until the 10th month, and in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains appeared. And this happened after 40 days. Noah opened the window of the ark that he made, and he sent off the raven to see if the water had abated. After it went out, it did not return until the water dried up from the earth. He sent off the dove after it to see if the water had abated from of the earth. And when the dove did not find rest for its feet, it returned to him in the ark, because water was on all the face of the earth. And stretching out his hand, he took it and brought it in to himself into the ark, having waited yet another 7 days. Again he sent forth the dove from the ark. The dove returned to him toward evening, and it had a dry leaf of an olive tree in its mouth. So Noah knew that the water had abated from the earth. And having waited yet another 7 days, again he sent forth the dove, and it no longer proceeded to return to him. And it happened in the 601st year in the life of Noah, during the 1st month, on the 1st day of the month, the water ceased from the earth. Noah uncovered the roof of the ark, and he saw that the water had ceased from the face of the earth. And in the 2nd month, our timer, I'm going to continue until we get to chapter 9, only a couple verses left. Noah uncovered the roof of the ark, and he saw that the water had ceased from the face of the earth. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth dried up. Yehovah spoke to Noah, saying, Go out from the ark, you and your wife, and your sons' wives with you, and bring out with you all the wild animals, all that are with you, and all flesh from birds to livestock, and every reptile moving on the earth, and increase and multiply on the earth. So Noah and his wife and his sons' wives came out with him. And all the wild animals and all the livestock and every bird and every reptile moving on the earth, they came out of the ark according to their kind. Noah built an altar to Yehovah, and he took from all the clean livestock and from all the clean birds, and he offered a whole burnt offering on the altar. And Yehovah smelled a sweet smell, and Yehovah pondered it, and said, I will never curse the earth further because of the deeds of humans, because the intention of humankind is focused on what is evil from youth. Therefore I will proceed to strike all living flesh no further, as I have done. All the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and spring, cold and heat, summer and spring, day and night will not cease. And that takes care of chapter 8. And I forgot to read this little title, God's Covenant with Noah. And that little title was from verse 20 up to 22. And I just wanted to point out from this chapter, because it'll help us down the road as we get further into knowing more. I'm going to point out that right here we see Noah picking the clean livestock and the clean birds that he was going to do offerings unto Father. And remember, we already saw that offerings have always been a thing because of the fact that we saw, Cain and Abel doing their offerings and Father being more acceptant towards one of the children's offerings than the other. And so it continues, giving things to Father and of what he says is right, that what he wants to be given. And that's what we needed to take note of, starting right here with Noah, because that's important to the things that we do, or what we look at, what we still are meant to be looking at today, what Father has given us for food. Okay, so that's just for down the road, but I thought to point it out ahead of time, because once we get there, this is going to come back to our remembrance, these points. And then here we can see where one man showing Father, don't lose hope in humanity. One showing true reverence to him and still wanting to do an offering, and you see throughout the whole time what Father told him to do. It said, and Noah obeyed Father's commands. And then now all of a sudden this offering by Noah, this to honor Father by it made Father happy. And because of Noah, Father went ahead and just said, you know what, I can't help, in a sense, what this creation of mine, what humans are going to do, because having examined what is in the heart of man, they're going to do it. But Father wants us to want him, willfully. And Noah was that one man that showed him, he wanted to do right and do according to what Father would have humans do. That's just to obey what he says. So, anyways, that's all I have in thoughts to everything we read tonight. Yeah, I'm reading this pretty late today, but I didn't want to go another Monday without trying to keep working at my efforts at teaching, doing what it is that Father would have me to be doing, and what Messiah has commissioned us to do. Like I said, we're all supposed to really be like sharing and being excited to talk about this word with one another, and learning this together, to a point to where one day no man will have to be teaching his neighbor. I forget where that's at, but it says something to that, we'll get to a point where no man needs to teach his neighbor, to teach his brother of these things, because we'll know it, we should be sharing these things. So I didn't want to go another Monday without coming and trying to put my best efforts forward in my thoughts before Father, before you all, and to read, just to see where our mind goes with Father as we meditate on his words. But anyways, that takes care of our reading for tonight. And I will see you all again. Father Yehovah, I want to come giving you praise and thanks. It's always on praise and thanks, Father, for what it is that we gain from you, in that of the natural, and even through your word for our spirit. We're always getting fed, at all times, given things, blessed by you all the time. So I thank you for your words tonight. Thank you for leading us in what we can see from the start of man, and where things started to fail, and where the relationship with you started to be cut off, where you no longer were being adhered to. No one was honoring your words. I just pray that we glean from all the examples of those that gained your favor, and had your protection, and we could see what you told them to do, and they just honored what you said, and you were always happy with them. I pray that we take these notes and we keep them within ourselves, so this way we continue to show you, that not all of us want to have that evil within us as the start of youth. Granted, a lot of us didn't have your truth up until a certain point in life now. We had the traditions, but we'll get to knowing that part as we keep reading. But for many of us that have come into your truth and what we know now, we're so grateful with the fact that, you're patient. You've been waiting patiently for us to see the truth and come to reading your word at this desire, this wanting to know the truth by your own words, rather than being told how to think your word is saying, or how to go about things and traditions that they're not there. So I just thank you, Father, for what we can do in showing that in our obedience of reading, and then putting into practice now. Thank you for opening up our eyes. So I thank you, Father, and I love you. I pray for all those that studied to keep on going. Always want to pray that. Never give up. In Yeshua's name, amen. Okay, well, be blessed, and I will see you guys again soon. Love you.